All right, guys, we are live. Now, when it comes to relocating to other countries, there are millions of individuals that wish they can do it, and only a few thousand of us that actually do it per year. However, a lot of us don't do it in a successful way. We end up having to go back to the States. So, tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the psychology, yes, the psychology of how to be an expat successfully. To where if you decide not to go back to the States, well, there are other countries that you can go to and that you can enjoy. But before we get started with that, my name is Andre of Love Crossing Borders, and I'm here to give you all facts so you can enjoy this evening with me. And before we get started again, let's go ahead and hit that intro. All right. Once again, welcome to Love Crossing Borders. We're glad to see that you all have made it here tonight. We got 21 people so far. Make sure that you guys click that like button, like Queen of the live stream Felicia says. Wipe your feet on the on the rug or on the mat. In other words, click that like button. I like you. Make sure you like us too. Your girl Andre is working on a project right now that she has to work on. So therefore, you guys are stuck with me. Yeah, you know how it goes when you're stuck with Andre during the live stream. We're going to have a great evening because this is a very important topic. Very important topic. I hope you guys like the new intro to the live streams. We're going to be using that one on a regular basis because it's very important for you individuals who have been stalling with getting your passports to get them. We warned you. I warned you in 2019 and in 2018, each year when it came to getting your passport. I gave you the top 10 reasons why I left the United States. And another one came along last year or earlier this year when Russ from Tailor Made Dreams, he did his top 10 list of why you should get your passport and why it's important. And yet individuals after almost since 2017, 18, you still don't have your passport and it's only $135, but yet you've had several new pair of Jordans. Some of you have purchased new cars, new houses. Some of you have already raised that young person. They're over 18 years old now. and yet and still you still don't have your passport. I don't know what's going on, but it's that time. If the pandemic didn't teach you nothing, if the passing on of Kevin Samuels and other individuals had not taught you anything since 2020, over 6 million deaths nationwide, you need to get your passport. Enough of this. Enough of this lollygag. And I didn't say you need to use your passport. I understand some of you economically can't afford to use your passports right now, but at least get your passports. I want to hear that somebody had enough gumption, enough gall, enough temerity to get their passport application completed by the end of July. I want to hear somebody say that. I want to hear them say, you know what? I got my passport. And just like Todd says, your passport and passive income online. And right now, this is the greatest time in world history to find online or work opportunities, business opportunities. And yet so many individuals aren't taking advantage of it. And I don't understand why. Todd says, my daughter turned 18 and dipped off to UK. You see how she did that? Dipped. She didn't dip to another state. She didn't dip to another side of the city. She said, Dad, I'm 18 years old. Deuces. Got my passport. If she needs Dad, Dad is right there for her. But at least she knew that she could take advantage of the fact that she has her passport. Jay is in the building, another passport queen who's had enough sense to make sure that she had her passport to travel to places that she wants to enjoy. And it's never too late. Hey, listen, I didn't get my passport till I was like 47. So don't act all brand new like you got to be a young person to get it. Some of y'all might get your passport at 57. Some of you may get it at 67. That does not mean that you do not need to get your passport. And plus, it's another form of identification. But the topic for tonight is a good one. It's a doozy. We're going to get started in a second. I'm going to give you guys these shout outs in a second. First shout out we're going to give is Kings and Dreams. Kings and Dreams always support the channel. For all you guys that are giving super chats today, you do not want to see, you definitely want to give super chats today because I'm giving out some knowledge today. And you guys do not want to see my money world girl. It ain't pretty. So shout out to Kings and Dreams. I'm still working, but I'm listening. All right, brother. I'm glad that you're here. Kenny's in the building. Yeah, we're back. We're back. We're on track. Yeah. All right, Terrell. Good evening, my friend. Good evening. Volak is in the building. Almost time to renew mine. Yeah. And they actually have a renewal process that's coming along. I'm doing some research on that. They've got a renewal process that they're trying to create for individuals to be able to renew their passports online. You don't even have to do it. I mean, you can do it online now, but they're going to make it like an easier way for you to renew your passport. So, like, yeah. Shout out to Terrell for the $20 super chat. We appreciate that. We appreciate all you guys that give to the super chat, as well as all of you that are giving to the Cash App. Let me put that in. For all of you guys that gave to the Cash App last week, we want to say thank you. We received those as they trickled in throughout the week. We appreciate you for the support of the channel. We got some new cameras that we get ready to purchase, as well as new microphones. So we're excited. We're about to say, we've already had 6 months of 2022. We're about to take 2022, the second 6 months, to a whole nother level. A whole nother level. We got JJ in the building. What's up, Dre, my bro? Finally got my visa for the DR. Finally. Let me know, JJ, how you actually been to the DR yet. Let me know if you've been there already. But like showing the love, man. I'm feeling like the lead attorney with the back-to-back love. Appreciate you, brother. He said, showing love, and I'll need to get a contract with you for a consultation. All right. Felicia, if you get a chance, make sure that you put the consultation information into the live stream for our brother. Thank you guys very much for the support, and the consultations are very thorough. I got a call from Richie Mack yesterday, right? Shout out to Rich, and he might be on here tonight too in the chat. And Rich was like, "Hey Dre, how let me see what your consultation setup is like, because he's doing his. And so I show him how thorough and how PowerPoint and direct and informative the ones that we do, whether it be the YouTube or whether it be the Move It to Colombia consultation. He like, man, yours is thorough. You give out all the information. And so when it comes to these consultations, we do not half step with you guys. Even if we have to reschedule with you, you never have to feel like I get frustrated. Like, well, Andre, my son, or Andre, my work. I have to reschedule. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that, especially if you've already paid for the consultation. I'm not one of those guys that disappear on you just because we have to reschedule or get upset with you. So don't feel like even when we set everything up for the consultation, you've already sent the money in, and that all of a sudden I'm like, no, I'll just send you the money. I'll get frustrated. No, I want you guys to have this knowledge. I want you to have this information. So definitely, the consultations, you guys will really appreciate the information that you receive if you're looking to build a YouTube channel or if you're looking to relocate to Colombia, no matter what city you're going to. Yetz has been been going there for years, now making the move there. And that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Jay. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, the move to relocating, what steps, because I'm going to tell you something. Most of relocating is not the money. It's not. It's not the paperwork, as JJ can attest to. It's not. I mean, the paperwork is bada bing, bada boom, and you just waiting. But the most part of relocating that will cause you to be successful or a failure is your mindset. If your mindset is not prepared when you're relocation, you will take your butt back to the United States. Guaranteed. I've seen it many times. Many individuals end up going back to the United States with their tails between their legs, and it wasn't even because of money. It wasn't because their passport got revoked. It's because some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, they did not do. Therefore, they went back home to mommy, which is the United States. They went back home to uncle, which is Uncle Sam. All right, but let's get started. We're going to start talking about this. The first thing that you want to do, you know me, I get a top 10 list. First thing on the list is you got to let the past go. Bruh, the United States is the girl that you took to the prom. Now she overweight, dog. She don't look like that no more. She don't act like that no more. She been smashed by 4 or 5 other dudes that did her wrong. She got babies now. She got 1 grandchild. The United States is no longer the girl that you took to the prom. I give you a perfect example. A perfect example. California, New Jersey, New York, and 3 other states. I can't remember what they were. They've had over 1 million individuals combined leave the states in the last year. And what I mean by this, I'm talking about high-paying taxpayers. I'm talking about California losing Tesla. Not just us regular people leaving California or regular people leaving New York. I'm talking about some ballers leaving California and New York and Jersey and a couple of other cities, because they're like, it's not worth it to pay them out for property, for taxes, for a lot of things that they're paying for in those states. They're going to Florida. They're going to Texas. So a lot of people are starting to leave. So even if I went back to the United States, my point is this: it is not even the United States that I left. You're going to have to, when the first thing that you're going to have to come to the conclusion, when you get on that plane to relocate to another country, when you decide to go back to the United States and visit, that ain't your United States. Let it go. Number 2 thing that's not about, that you're going to have to let go of the past with: relationships. Your friends are going to move on. Oh yeah, my friends, my partners, we still cool to this day, but they've moved on. I knew them dudes when they were in their 30s. Now they're in their 40s. I know those dudes when they just had kids, like 1 or 2 got grandkids now. I knew when they first started their business. Now some of these dudes are building houses from scratch and they own gigantic units and they own 2 or 3 trucks and things like that. When I knew them when they only had a pickup truck. Life is going to go on without you. That goes for family members too. You got to be ready to let the past be the past. All that nostalgic feeling that you're going to have about the United States, you ain't going to celebrate the 4th of July in another country. You won't. I never have. I can't think of Taylor Made Dream ever saying, you know what, I'm celebrating 4th of July right now. I can't think of Zuna, Thailand right now talk about Thanksgiving or Memorial Day. You don't talk like that when you relocate. That's United States. Numero tres, things that you're going to have to let go of the past. Shout out to Flyboy Way. When it comes to relocating, you're going to have to let go of racial issues that may be taking place in the United States that you can't do nothing about. Many of us post stuff in the comments of the Facebook groups, and we may have a little something to say on our YouTube channels or our podcasts, or we may have a little something to say in our WhatsApp groups. But for real, y'all want me to tell the truth? I can't do nothing for Black people in the United States except for being an example of a good person outside the United States. I can't. There's nothing I can offer Black people in the United States because I'm not in the United States. I can't march for you. I can't use a bullhorn. I can't volunteer with the kids in the community anymore. I can't be part of fundraiser dinners. I can't be a part of none of that. I can't help teach. I can't help kids with scholarships. Nothing. I can't do nothing from here. So you're going to have to realize that once you leave the United States, all the fussing and cussing about the white man this and the white man that, that's for the States. And if in your new country, they're not doing anything racial to you particularly and personally, you better keep your mouth shut in your new country. I'll give you a perfect example here in Colombia. Colombia still has Black maids. Yeah, like in the 50s. Colombia still has servants, Black servants. Every restaurant you go, they got Black people working in the main restaurants. You're paying all this money for, ain't number brothers and sisters stuck in the back. The trash delivery, Black people. Cleaning up the streets, Black people. Everybody got a broom and a mop. If you're looking for a broom and a mop in Colombia, look for a Black person. You find very few Black people that work in the malls, behind the counters. Oh yeah, they finally got a Black female Black vice president, but that's just a stepping stone. My point in saying all that is when you move to a new country and you see racism, you have to let them go through their racial journey. Just like, and it looks here in Colombia for Black people, it looks like the 60s. The way that they're still fighting for their rights and equality. You got to let them go through their 60s, 70s, and 80s, just like we had to go through our 60s, 70s, and 80s. Don't come down to Colombia and talk about, I can't see how y'all Black people put up with this. I could never, that's not your place. That's God's place. That's not your place to come to the United States to act like you better than just because you already made it through your journey and at this point of dealing with racial issues. And Black people in Germany and Black people in parts of Africa and Black people in part of Switzerland, they still have to go through their journey. Sometimes God wants you to go through some things to learn some things. The reason how we became so strong as African Americans and having an influence around the world through our music, through our businesses, through our presence is because we had to go through some things. I'm not here to stop Afro-Columbus from going through some things to become strong people. I'm not going to the Netherlands, messing with some Black people, telling them you shouldn't do it. Hey, go through your journey like we did. If you need to go through some picket signs and some marches and whatever it is, go through it. Afro-German, Afro-Portuguese, Afro-Poland, Afro-Ukrainian, go through it, baby. We had to go through it. Y'all got to ride it out. But when you move to a new country, you got to let the past habits of how you handle racial issues, if it's not coming directly to you, keep your mouth shut. Even the Bible says in Proverbs, even a fool looks wise when he keeps his mouth shut. One of my favorite verses. Even a fool looks wise when he keeps his mouth shut. We got 42 people in the live stream. Make sure you guys click that like button. I'm going to get to that super chat, those super chats in a minute. Numero dos, thing that you're going to do to make sure that you are successful when it comes to relocating to another country. This is very important. First one was you got to let the past go. United States, cut that umbilical cord. You got to let it go. Yes, you got family back home. I do too. I love them. Yes, you got nostalgia. You remember that time when you went to the college football game and your favorite team won, and you went that one time you went and had tickets and went to the Super Bowl. I got you. Ride your memories out, baby. Your first girlfriend, yes, enjoy your memories. But you got to realize you can't carry that across the border. You crossing borders to create new memories now in new locations around the world. Number two is do not make excuses for anything again. One thing that we've learned to do in the United States, this is really two things. People in the United States, we scared of every dang thing. We scared of it ain't nothing they don't tell us to fear. If you don't vote for me, he's going to take your rights away. If you don't vote for her or this policy or this bill, you'll wake up the next morning, it'll be a whole new world. They use everything for fear factor on us. They make us scared of everything, United States. You scared of black people still scared of, it's still black people in the United States that say white people. Remember that when you was young and your grandma and aunties never be talking in public and they be like, yeah, you know white people. And then they finish the conversation. It's still black people that talk like that. In 2020, is white people, it's black people that have no bravado when they say white people. They be like, white people. Like, is this 1954? What the? Ain't got no gumption. You got to let all that go. That's the first thing that they make us be like United States is fear and scared of everything. You scared to take your kids to school. Women, you watch Kevin Samuels, one of the number one reason why women say that they did not say yes to a proposal. Number one reason why women who called into Kevin Samuels that had several proposals throughout their lives to get married, number one reason was, I was scared he would change. The dude showed no signs that he was going to change as a husband except be a better man. And the women were so afraid of the success of a marriage that they feared that their marriage would fall apart even before they got married. United States teach you to be scared of every, you can't name one thing that the United States does. They teach you to be scared of the food. It's a bird flu going on. They teach you to be scared of the water. Do not go to Flint. They teach you to be scared of the building. Well, you know, they got that mold going through. Everything. But the number two thing, and this is what you're going to have to let go of when you leave to relocate, your excuses. Every excuse that you give yourself or you were able to use like a pillow in the United States, it don't fly as an expat player. No. The excuse of you ain't got the money, well, that don't fly overseas, player. You gonna have to come out that money, baby. That excuse of, well, she did me wrong too. Well, you chose a player. You chose her. If she did you wrong and you was the one that chose her, and you knew she was a pro, you knew she was a pay for play. Flyboy Way already told you, hey dog, you might not want to mess with her, dog, because she just for the she's a Luther girl. A Luther girl, yes, she's only for one night. She's only for one night. Now, if Flyboy went and told you she's a Luther girl, only for one night, and you sit up there and you boo her up trying to rescue her, you ain't got no excuse. In the United States, you got an excuse for everything. You ain't explaining nothing, but they let us have an excuse for everything. Why you late for work? Well, this is what happened. You know, my dog tried to drive the car, and you know, I had to wrestle my dog out of the car seat for the third time this month. You got an excuse for everything. Hey, bro, why don't you go ahead and start that business that you were talking about starting? Oh, man, man, I'm going to go and take care of it. They just gave me a raise on my job, so I'm going to go and start that business next year. I'm going to hang out with this raise that they gave me on my job. When you are an expat, it ain't no excuses. It ain't an excuse good enough for you to give. If you're in another country and you get in a fight with somebody in that country, you ain't got no excuse for getting in a fight with somebody in that country unless they personally attack you. And then you got to ask yourself, why did I put myself in a neighborhood where they personally attack people? That's the second thing that's going to cause you to be successful as a expat. Do not use excuses. Use solutions. I'm going to say that again. If you want to know one of my number one secrets, and Andre will tell you, Andre, no matter what happens, I do not focus on problems ever. Ever. You got a cold? I don't focus on it. We got a flat tire? I don't focus on it. 700,000 just came out of our bank account from out of nowhere. I don't focus on it. And Andre will tell you that. I focus on the solution. If 6,000 came out of our bank account, how do I get that 6,000 back in? If I got a flat tire, how do I get it repaired to get to the location? If I sit back and got a question about something and I just can't handle it, I'm focused on a solution to get the answer to that question. I never, if you want to know my number one Andre Salt Bay secret, I do not focus on problems ever, 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 ever. I focus on the solutions because that's what successful people do in life. You wonder how you sit back, you saw Kevin Samuels. You wonder how when you sit back, you see Flyboy Wade have his financial days when he talk about finances on his channel. You wonder how Kings and Dreams succeeded. You wonder how Zoom to Thailand is just zooming all over the place. Because these men do not focus on the problem or the challenge only. They focus more on the solution. Every one of you that don't have a passport is because you focused on the problem. You focus on the challenge or the excuse of not having your passport. Well, why don't I have my passport? So you just, in your mind, you just gave yourself 3 quick excuses. You were like, oh yeah, that's why. And you just kept on pushing with life, and 2 years went by since that last excuse you gave. Do not focus on your excuses. Focus on your solutions. And I promise you, your life will change tremendously. Let me get to these comments. Yes, been going. Oh, I went there already. Kenny says, all I need is my airline. Oh, is my online income. And yeah, you're right. And I'm good to go. You are so correct, brother. So correct. Any form of passive income. All right, there's the consultation information if you guys are interested in the consultations. We've got a few scheduled this week. Men's Daily. He said they won't be back to Uncle. Yeah, that's Uncle Sam. That's right. Not coming back. Somebody said that to me a couple years ago. They were like, well, you the female, of course. Shout out to you ladies. You'll be back when problems hit you. You'll be back. First of all, you guys already know what I just said. I don't focus on problems. I focus on solutions. Secondly, I told her this. There are over outside the United States and the country that I'm in now, that leaves on average about another 198 countries for me to see if I can develop in. 198 more countries before I could even decide to scoot back to the United States. If everything went in shambles in Colombia, I am not going back to the United States. That's a true expat. You let the past be the past because it's not my United States anymore. It's not mine. And for those of you that live outside the United States, ask Russ Taylor-Made. Is that his United States? His United States is gone. Mine is gone. Y'all done had a new president since I've been gone. Y'all got a whole new president, whole new Congress. Did you know California is going for the first time is going to lose one of its electoral delegates because so many people have moved outside the United States? I mean, moved out of California, that for the first time in years, California will not have the same electoral power for the next up and coming presidential election that it did before, because people are moving out and can't afford to live in California anymore. And the same thing is going to be happening, I bet you, by next year for New York, because so many people moving out of New York. So when I say my United States is gone, I'm not saying it in an evil way. It's gone. It's gone. My Obama, gone. And he don't exist. He on vacation somewhere. Shoot. Let's scroll down. Larry Perry in the building. Shout out to Larry. Flyboy, always in the building. Always a great dude, man. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to Flyboy Way channel, especially if you're a traveler. I'm not celebrating this year. I'm not celebrating any of those holidays this year. Yes, California is out of control. They're giving you guys another. This up and coming next couple of weeks, California is supposed to be receiving another stimulus check, $1,050, between $200 and $1,050. California is giving out another, like you guys getting your fourth or fifth stimulus check already. It's states that didn't even got that. Alabama used their stimulus money and built prisons. They was like, forget giving the people the money. They used that money and revamped and rebuilt prisons in the state of Alabama. They trying to get that government money. So yeah, California is out of control. The gas, the rent, the real estate. I love it here. Minus the females, but it makes no sense to continue to live in a culture that doesn't fit me. Absolutely correct. And a lot of Californians are feeling that way. That's why you have cities like Austin, Texas, and Californians are moving. They're moving north and they're moving south. The new Silicon Valley, South Dakota. I watched a documentary on that like 2 years ago. There's so many Californians and so many people that live in Silicon Valley that are moving the whole Google experience, and their technology companies are moving to North and South Dakota, or they're moving down to Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas population has exploded. So the first two things we talked about, guys, when it comes to being successful as an expat is you got to let go of the past. The United States is not your United States. Number two, don't make excuses for anything. Focus on the solutions. Always focus on the solutions. Always do not stop focusing on solution. When you wake up in the morning, focus on the solution. I was in the gym the other day, right? And I like doing deadlifts, right? So usually I'm not having a problem with lifting this particular weight, right? But I forgot my belt in the back of the truck and Andre was gone. And so I'm telling myself, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and lift this weight. Now I could have just went down the weight and was good, right? But I'm in there feeling good about myself. You know how your mom used to say back in the day, boy, you're smelling yourself. I'm smelling myself, right? Man, did my deadlift. I hit 8, and I knew my body was saying, go ahead and do it again. I dare you. Man, I went to lift that weight up, that 9 and 10, right in the back. You could just feel that muscle say, oh. So all this week, I could have been like, oh man, my back, man. It's just no. I just went on ahead because I'm solution oriented and focus on what solutions I need to do to make it a easier transition of my back being healed so I can get back in the gym and lift the way that I normally do. Where a lot of dudes would just be crying, boo-hooing, sitting on the couch, laying down, my back hurt, and then come to find out that the doctor said the worst thing that you can do when you pull a back muscle or even a shoulder muscle is to sit still. You do not want to sit still. You want to be in motion. But most dudes that don't look at the solution would have been focusing on the problem and would have laid in bed or laid on a couch, and that would have been the worst thing. So make sure no matter what you do as an expat, you remain solution oriented and don't give excuses. Because rich people, people that are successful in business, you will never see Jay-Z, Beyonce, you'll never see your favorite real estate agent, you'll never see a writer or author, no, a politician. They don't give excuses. They don't. Even if they got the wrong answer, and you know that they even if they lying to you, they gonna give you no excuse. Shout out to my brother. All right, Tobias in the bill. Let's see what Tobias is saying. I'm in Medellin for 2 weeks. All right, baby. You down there with Ace and Dave and a lot of other people. Then Barcelona. I ain't mad at you, brother. You doing it big. You going to Prague, Jets. I see you. Austria. See, that's what I'm talking about. We getting our game plan together just like that. Just like that. We can't wait to get to Europe. We cannot wait. We're gonna be train riding everywhere. We just got back from a trip last week. 2 days ago to a church in a small town, but this small town was packed. You know how when you see in the movies where it's like all the Catholic believers, shout out again, brother, for the super chat. How you see all the Catholic believers show up to this one location because a miracle took place. That's what this town was. And they built a church in the spot where the miracle took place. Like this big, beautiful. I'm gonna drop the video tomorrow. I did it with the 360 camera, so you guys are gonna love it. But this place, it had this small little town. I mean, small town. It's 5,000-6,000 in this small little church area. It was so many people on a Monday. On a Monday, 5,000 people out there that they had to have the church service indoors as well as outdoors. So I love those little experiences that you get to have when you are an expat, especially if you're expat with a vehicle. Let's see what Will says. First problem is the only problem when there is no solution. True. Real men always find a solution. That's how we're created. Absolutely correct. That's how they create the chair, the bed, and everything else. Somebody found a solution. No shade, but a lot of males, notice he said the difference between males and men, haven't become men yet, just like I was just mentioning. CBT, shout out to you, brother. CBT says, damn, this morning, OSHA or Cal OSHA said that they shut down if we get the third COVID cases at the same damn time from the boys in LA to San Francisco or to San Diego. My bad. Shaking my head. Gotta escape. Yes, it is. It's crazy in California. It is getting crazy out there. And it is not the only state that is out there. And they're trying to feed you guys with stimulus checks, but it ain't working. People leaving. I'm talking about, they're saying that big money. If it was just regular people like the rest of us leaving, but when you start seeing the Teslas and all the movie stars that are leaving, so they'll come to California to work, but they live outside of California, yeah, it ain't looking good out there in California. And that's what I meant by the US that used to be yours. What's up, Kenny? Is no longer. Dre, I read a comment on a forum that I'm on that happened on a forum I'm on, Happier Abroad. I'm gonna have to check that forum out. Real men go abroad, greater men stay. That's a good one. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. Real men go abroad, greater men stay abroad. Man, that's a good one. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks for sharing that one. Let's get those likes up. Like Felicia said, get those likes up. I like you. We like you too. Also, welfare gang here. Yes. That's the other thing that you have to focus on solutions. There is no welfare here in Colombia for expat. You got to have your money right. I love the fact that we have, emergency funds put to the side, as well as investments, as well as monies that's still coming in, and we have other opportunities of passive income that are starting up. I love that, because it caused me to focus on solutions. Because in the States, I gotta admit, like most people, as long as you pay me a decent wage, I'm good. I didn't realize that in the United States, here's the kicker. They pay you enough to not quit as long as you work enough to not get fired. I want to say that again. In the United States, most people get paid just enough to not quit as long as you work just enough to not get fired. That's crazy, right? Let me wipe that off. That's crazy. And if everything falters, you got welfare, you got WIC, you got unemployment. Once you decide to become an expat, it's all on you, buddy. It's all on you, on thee. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are well taken care of. And especially if you have somebody else in your life, you want to make sure that they're taken care of too. But that's when I say your superpowers come out, like mine. I didn't know all this solution-oriented mindset that I had in the States, because I was getting raises and I was getting promotions, so I think I'm doing good, right? And then when I leave the country, all of a sudden I find out I got spidey senses and I got spidey senses to notice stuff before it happens. I can come down to open up doors for myself with the force of 10,000 Thors. I could protect myself and Andrea like the shield of Captain America, and represent the brotherhood like I'm from Wakanda. I didn't know all this was in Andre. I ain't gonna sit up here and act all brand new. Yes, I've always been this person. Even if you're successful financially in the United States, once you leave, you'll still discover there are new superpowers inside of you that you didn't even know you had. Some of y'all just discovering the superpower to tell females. You know what? I'm gonna be for real. Some of y'all just discovering dick control superpower. Yes, sexual control. Some of y'all thought that you was gonna actually be smashing everything you saw, and then when you left the United States, you like, you know what? I smash who I want, and I say no to who I want. I don't have to have everybody. But when you was a tourist coming to DR, you were like, I got 5 days to get it in. And you just running through 5 days. I got to get 5 in, and I got to get 25 in 5 days. But once you become an expat, you don't think like that. You just deal with who you going to deal with. You like, you know what? I got business to take care of this week, but this Friday, this Saturday, and Sunday, that's my party days. But other than that, you ain't acting like a tourist. And that's the next one that we're going to hit on. Let's get to that one, because I know that I have it on the list. Oh, here we go. You accept the fact that you are now an expat. And I know I haven't hit those super chats yet, guys. I want to say thank you for them. But the next one is numero tres. You've accepted the fact that you are an expat and that you're not a tourist. Most people that end up going back to the United States is because they play their money and their time as if they were still tourists. And then they end up running out of money or running low on money or whatever it is, because they played themselves like they're tourists. Like I mentioned to you guys a couple weeks ago, somebody hit me with the story of a guy that spent over $100,000 in 6 months on pros in Medellin. I don't even know how do you go through $100,000 in 6 months on pros in a country where your dollar is worth 4 times as much? One story was that he gave one chick $4,000. I don't know about you, brothers. I love my wife. I love women. I ain't saying I'm with another woman. What I'm saying is just in general. I have never been with a woman that was worth $4,000 for a overnight or an hour or a 2-week excursion. I don't think I'm giving up 4,000 for if I smashed you every day for a year. The only one that's gotten that type of money from me is Andrea, because she got the ring. She queen in the ring, so that's a big difference. And usually, if she got that type of money, she's making investments for us both to where it's going to bring a rate of return. $100,000 in Medellin? Man, I know one thing. Please, brothers, do not try to break that record. I can do it. No, don't do it. Don't try to break that record. Yeah, playing baller, trying to play baller. And was not happy after the 100,000 was gone. So even if he could afford it after the 100,000 was gone, he still wasn't happy. It's like when you buy that new car and like for the first couple weeks, you like, yeah, this is my ride. And then after a few weeks, you like, okay, I got a nice car. You ain't tripping no more. Oh yeah, our other channel, Mostly Money TV. Thank you guys for subscribing to that one. Make sure you click that link. Thank you, Felicia. Looking forward, the hero. Looking forward to the hero with the 1,000 faces, cold title. Yes, I was just thinking about that book. For you guys that don't know who the hero of 1,000 faces is, Hero of 1,000 Faces is every hero movie that you've ever seen. It was actually written by this gentleman years ago. He did a study on the history of heroes around the world throughout history. And he found that there were some qualities that all heroes have that are exactly the same, even though they were raised on different continents or different times. And he wrote a book called he realized that there is only one hero, but with 1,000 faces. So that's why you can watch Independence Day and watch Star Wars. You got Will Smith and Luke Skywalker. All movies that you've seen, from the Avenger movies to all the comic books that we read, all of them were based off this book, A Hero of 1,000 Faces. All of them. Every Marvel book that you've read, from all Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's art and Stan Lee's story, Steven Spielberg's, George Lucas's movies, every single one of them were based off this book. And you can look it up on YouTube. You can listen to the audio version of it, or you can look at the cliff notes of Heroes of 1,000 Faces. And that's you. When you decide to go after and become an expat, you become a hero, one of the heroes that follow the pattern. One of the things he said with the Heroes of 1,000 Faces is they usually start off as regular everyday people, like Luke Skywalker, like Will Smith in Independence Day. Then a tragedy happens. Then they see their quest or the journey that they need to take. Then they succeed in the quest. He said every hero throughout history has done this, succeeded in the quest, gone back home, and taught what he learned. The guy said every single hero throughout the Aztec history, African history, European history, Asian history, North American history, South American history have all followed that exact same pattern. If you look in all the Marvel comic books and all the Marvel movies and all the Disney show, every single movie that you've seen with a hero, whether it was a cowboy movie, the good, bad, and the ugly type of movies, or whether it was just a guy that discovered that he had a journey that he had to take, and it was a true autobiography. Every single person fell up under the umbrella of this particular book. That's how important this book is in world literature. And it's not a long book. So when you guys get a chance, check out A Hero of a Thousand Faces. And if you're interested in the consultation, guys, make sure that you email me, because I definitely will do the consultation with you to prepare you for your relocating to Colombia. Even if your journey is a few years down the line. Remember, guys, it took me 3 years to become an official expat. I was traveling back and forth like you guys to different countries, and then Colombia. And then finally, I chose Colombia, and it took 3 more years after choosing Colombia to finally make the transition. So don't think just because, well, I got my kids right now and I don't. Get your consultations, get your passport, find out what the visa policies are, all these things. Find out in advance, because your shorty is 10 right now. And I promise you, we all know that life goes by so fast. Your 10-year-old son is going to be in high school like that. And once they get past high school, just like the one brother said, his daughter used her passport and she's in UK right now. Shout out to Victory for the super chats, for the super sticker, showing the love. I appreciate you, brother. Look forward to seeing you and hanging out with you again. We're going to get back to this. Let me get to those super chats that I missed earlier. Amos in the building. Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. If I have any question, Amos, let me know, brother. I'll make sure I get to it. DMR in the building. What's up, brother? Man, I've been following you on Facebook, man. You be doing some great things. All right. Oh, yeah, we're talking about, flunky moderators. Wouldn't know. Welfare office, he said flunky moderators. I wouldn't know. Yeah, welfare going on in the States, yeah. All right. I think I make sure I get through all the super chats. Will in the building. Did I hit Will already? I appreciate you, my brother. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Will, man. We try our best. I try my best to be as honest as possible. I really do, man, because I try to give you guys the information that I wish somebody was around to give me when I first was thinking about relocating, and it was kind of scary, and I didn't know, and I wasn't sure, and all I had was Ace and Tailor Made Dreams and Marwai. Wasn't nobody else really on YouTube talking except for maybe Jabril with Passport Heavy. So now I try to give as much honest information without making it seem like it's all dreamy and it's not work. It is work, but it's well worth it. Okay, we got my man in the building always. My journey with mom. Dre always dropping. I try to, brother. I try to. That's a good man. Subscribe to his channel. That's a man that did not give himself any excuses. He was like, you know what? Even though I'm making good money here in the States, let me grab me and my mother. Yes, him and his mother relocated to DR. And he found that it was more better to take care of his mother in DR than it would have been, even though he was making more in the States. It was a better scenario in DR. So you definitely want to subscribe to that brother channel, because he is a man with no excuses. He's a man that focuses on his solutions. But as I was saying, the next one was, don't make the mistake of acting like a tourist anymore. Be an expat. Be an expatriate. An expat does not mean that you just give up on your country. I'm not saying that. We still have our citizenship, even though many are giving up their U.S. citizenship this year like crazy. But make sure that you don't make the mistake of confusing when you were coming here on a vacation with now that you live here. Now you have routine. Guys, the difference between an expat and a tourist is you have a routine. If you want to not miss the United States and be like, man, I'm bored and blah, 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 come with a routine, a plan. If you went to the gym in the States, go to the gym here. If you like to fish here, be like Carlton of Carlton Travels. He was in Medellin for 2 years. But his passion, I talked to Carlton a few months ago, his passion was fishing, deep sea fishing, lake fish. I didn't know Carlton was like an avid fisherman, like the fishermen you see on TV that be in competitions, those type of fishermen. And so he finally decided to move to Cartagena so he could get back to deep sea fishing, get back to his routine. And now he's happy as can be. Whatever your routine is, bring it with you. Whatever new routine you want to develop, bring that with you. I'll repeat this one more time, guys. I'm telling you, this is one of some of my top tips. If you want to be an expat, the difference between an expat and a tourist is routine. I promise you that. Tourists don't have routines. They have agendas, they have plans, they have goals, and they want to do certain things, but theirs come to an end. You live in that country now. You live in Greece. You live in Germany. You live in Thailand. You live in the Philippines. You live in Colombia. You live in Argentina. You got routine. People that travel and visit, they don't have a routine. Oh, they'll go to the gym, but they don't do it like you do. The development is not going to be seen in 5 days. You're here. You're going to be here for months, years. So that's the difference. Next one is, in order to be a successful person when it comes to being an expat and not having to run back to the United States, you got to always be on learner mode. You have to always be on learner mode, learning new language, learning to appreciate different foods. You're going to see foods and fruits and vegetables that you've never seen in the United States. You're going to have to learn the currencies. You're going to have to learn the how, for example, here in Colombia, how sensitive Colombians are to everything. You're going to have to learn, like me, not to slam the door getting out of the car. I don't get it. I don't understand why Colombians are so sensitive about slamming the car door, but even in my own vehicle, Andre be like, babe, don't slam the car door. I'm like, you do know in our country, we test car doors like thousands upon thousands of slams per car. It'll be all right, but hey, I learned to not slam a car door because they don't do it here. You're always on learner mode. On the business side, that's one of your superpowers, learner mode. You'll learn to network. You'll learn to appreciate. You'll learn to give yourself a pat on the back when you've done some good things. You'll learn not to be so hard on yourself when things aren't going quite right like you thought they would at that particular time. You'll learn from other individuals. Some of you guys have taught me so much. I'm like, you do what as a living for a living? Oh, I need to, could you show me how to? Could we do a bartering? You're always on learner mode. I wake up in the morning on learner mode. Always you're on learner mode. That's your superpower. Because you can't afford not to learn something new. Because like I mentioned, once you leave the United States, there is nothing to lean back on. There is nobody else to lean back on. You've burned your bridges, in other words. Not in a negative way, but you've told yourself, I'm not going back. So therefore, you're going to have to take the time out to be on learner mode. Definitely. Also, the next one is build a network of professional and personal individuals. Some of you, when you move to another country, like Taylor Made Dreams did, you noticed on his channel, he had professional friends that were attorneys or people that knew about real estate or people that knew about paperwork, visas, people that knew about the countryside. If you want the air, not Uber, he brought professionals on how to open up bank accounts. If he didn't know how to show it to you, he brought professionals. He built a network of professionals. But then he showed you all these fun people that he had met. He bring all these fun males and females on his channel that on a personal basis he's met and gotten to know. That's what you want to have. You want to have some people that you can call on a professional network. I got people that on the you want to know a guy that know a guy that know a guy. Since I've moved here, I got some Guidos. Hey, Guido, I need some help. Don't worry about it. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. I got some guys like that down here that's opened up some doors for me that by myself would have took a lot longer to walk through those doors. You want to have that. If you're moving to DR and all your friends are pay for play, you're doing it all wrong. If everybody you know in DR, you going to DR, you've been going there for 5 years, and you ain't got nobody that got a real estate license that can show you around some buildings. You ain't got nobody, if you want to start a YouTube channel, that can tell you anything about YouTube. You telling me you ain't got nobody that can tell you, hey, if you want to purchase a car, purchase this type, don't purchase that type, because that type they steal a lot, but this type they usually don't bother. You gotta have some professional connections of networking. You want to get off into fundraising like I do down here, and volunteering in the community like Russ does with the Tailor Made Dreams does with the orphanage. You got to have connections. You got to have network. You do not want to have only a personal network of guys that you hang out with, or your little lady friend or her friends. That's cool, but you want to have you a network of professional and personal. That's how you keep from dragging yourself back to the United States, because you don't have to lean on the nostalgic thoughts of when you had your good friends in the United States. Like when I reach out to my partners in the United States, it's like, hey, what's up? Andre, man, I see you doing big things down there, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, gotta go. And I spend more time on the phone with you guys than I do with my partners back in the States who I've been knowing for years. You guys are part of my personal and professional network outside the United States. Charles in the building, taking notes tonight. Yes, Charles. We already talked about a few things. All right, we already talked about the fact that, first of all, if you're going to be a successful expat and not just a tourist, you're going to have to let go of the past. United States is United States, and when you leave, that is not your United States anymore. Let it go. That flag is yours? Yeah. Street signs are going to change. Neighborhoods are going to change. People that didn't have kids before, they got kids now. All that is gone. All that is gone. Let it go. All that has changed. Number 2, don't make excuses for anything ever again. Focus on solutions. There is no way in heck you're going to succeed in anything in life, whether it be in business, whether it be personal. Do not make excuses ever. You might have explanations of why something didn't work, but an excuse, don't ever do that again. Focus on the solutions and not the problems. I promise you, that's my number 1 secret in life. If I gave you my number 1, if it was my deathbed secret, Andre will tell you the biggest lesson that she's picked up from me, from being around me, is her husband never focuses on the problem. Even if I get mad initially, like every other human, about the problem, like, oh man, I can't believe this happened, blah, 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 blah. I might give it 2 minutes. Now I'm on solution mode. Because if you focus on the problem longer than an hour, now you're waddling in the problem like a pig in mud. You're waddling now. You're just settling down into the problem now. So I used to tell my students, I tell Andre, I say, give you an hour. Cuss, fuss, be mad, angry, disappointed, discouraged, fearful, whatever it is you got to let out of your system. I give you 1 hour. I tell everybody that. Let it out. You got 1 hour. Let it out. Literally, once I see you again after that hour, we're focusing on the solution. And how I discovered that was I found a neurological scientist that said that the human brain, for the most part, does not focus on the problem and solution at the same time. The human brain can't. The human brain will either focus mainly on the solution or mainly on the problem. but the human brain does not give both 50-50. So I said, let me test it out. And I've been testing it out for years. And I'm like, wow, that works for real. If you do not focus on the solution, on the problem, the solution will come like that. Even if you have to wait for the results of the solution. And I'll tell you, for example, remember a couple months ago, somebody stole our YouTube emails and our channels got hacked. Remember that a few months ago? I could have easily been, oh my God, all the channels, they're hacked, they're gone. No. I gave that like 5 minutes. And then I say, Andre, so what's the solution? Where Google said it's going to take 2 weeks to get you back up. We were back up in 12 hours. To where if I had said anything to you guys, you wouldn't even know that our channels got hacked. Because I focused on solution and not the problems. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. I do that in marriage. I do that in everything. When I discovered that little secret, I was like, oh man, this is the number one rule of my life now. That's why I'm always in such a good mood, because I don't focus on the problems. I focus on the solutions. And usually 90% of my problems, if not 95% of the problems, have a solution that I can control, that I don't have to wait for the results. And if it is a problem that I can't find a solution to, then I wasn't meant to have the answer to it anyway, so I don't trip. Because I can't control everything 100%. Shout out to Will. Solutions, no excuses, none. I never do. You guys will never hear me give an excuse. If you guys have watched the channel all the way through, I don't give no excuse for what goes on with black people and white people. If you ever notice, I don't do that. I put my foot on a black person's neck, Asian person's neck, black person's neck, white person's neck. You notice I'm non-biased. Andre, you're gonna put out that video talking about how bad white people stink? You actually gonna put that out there? Yeah. Google it on YouTube. And my video was not the first video about white people stinking when they travel. You can focus on the problem or you can focus on the solution. Problems usually keep you biased. Well, if all black people come together. Yeah. Let's see. Andre, when you leave your country, it's a problem, are no longer problems. Hallelujah. You know what? Let's get to the next one. I'm glad that you mentioned that, brother. The next one is, you will have bad days. Bad days will happen. I don't care if you move to the coast of Ireland, my friend. I don't care if you move to the coast of Tanzania. I don't care if you move to the coast of Cartagena or the beautiful coast of, I hope I say this correct, Pattaya, Thailand. You will always have a day that challenges you. Not every day, but you're going to have your moments where there's a flat tire. Or you may have a day where you like, I got the sniffles today and I think I'm coming down with a cold. Or you may just have you'll have some everyday human disappointing moments. Loved ones will pass on. You get a call. Hey, so-and-so passed on, dog. You get those calls. You're an expat. You're not there anymore. So you'll get those calls. You might get those calls late. Yeah, man. We've been trying to reach you, man. And he passed on for about 4 weeks ago, bruh. You're going to have those moments. You're going to have some stormy days where it's just storming, where you're like, man, it's been storming for the last 3 days. Yeah. Yeah. But I like how he put it. I like how Larry Perry put it. He says problems, they are no longer problems. This is true when you focus on the solution and you're not under the pressure of fear that they put you in the United States, that stress. I have to agree with Larry, man. When I have a problem here, it doesn't feel as problematic as it does in the United States. Even if Andre and I, God forbid that anything happens to our relationship, which it shouldn't, because I'm good, she good, we good, right? It doesn't feel like if it doesn't work out, it's like, ugh. You know, in the United States, you feel like, oh, it's over. I can't believe it. She done took the kids, the car, the dog. You know, like United States, she taking everything. The dog, the kids, the cat, the car, the house. She taking the half your military pension. It just don't feel as problematic when you go through a situation in another country than you do in the United States. I gotta agree with that one. And that's the other one, guys. First, the problem is only a problem when there's no solution. Real men always find a solution. That's how we're creating. Oh yeah, we read that one. Shout out to Will for that one. Scroll down. We're at the Amos. Thanks again, Amos, for the super chat. Thanks again, Victory, for the super chat. Yeah, and that's another thing, Kenny. It's a for some of you guys, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. When you become an expat, it's as if you could go to the whiteboard of life and wipe everything away. Yeah, we know you did that in the United States. Yeah, we know. We understand. Yeah, let me. Yeah, that. Yeah, let me wipe that off too. Yeah, and you wipe the whiteboard completely off. You just wipe everything off, and you get a chance to write it your way. There's no government that's trying to press you because you're a citizen outside the country, so you're not pressed with the news of what's going on every day. When you're an expat, all you care about is two things: currency. Don't mess with the currency, and don't mess with the passport, and we good. I'm not tripping on guys that live outside the United States, or if you're outside the United States right now. Are you tripping on ladies that are outside the United States right now? Are you tripping on Roe versus Wade if you live outside Wade if you are living outside the United States? You looking at it like, oh wow, I can't believe with that, but you ain't looking at it like people in the United States looking at it. Now let them mess up the money. Like the US dollar is only worth a tenth of what it was. Now you looking like, oh man, now I gotta get a yen. You know, new passport laws are coming down the turnpike. Now, those two things, you don't care nothing about nothing else. Keep the US dollar strong, keep the passport, and leave us alone. That's all we care about. Everything else we kind of like informed about. We're like, oh wow. Like me and Los, shout out to Los. Like me and Los will be in one of our we in a couple of groups. And so we'll be in our groups, we'll talk about racial issues that might be going on, or we'll talk about some political issues or some economic or investment issues we'll talk about. But really deep down inside, we ain't really tripping because we ain't there to experience it. We'll bring it up and give our opinion, but deep down inside, me and Los ain't feeling it like y'all feel it. Y'all back in the States, y'all feel it. Y'all feel a protest. We can watch it on the news and be like, oh, wow, white people still tripping. But we ain't feeling it like y'all feeling it. Because soon as Los get done saying white people tripping, Los on the other side of his city enjoying his life. I'm here driving to another city. We ain't. Some of you dudes, y'all be looking at the laws. Y'all be like, oh, did you see that happen in the news? There's another shooting in in the United States, oh, brothers and sisters in Buffalo, the most we can do is keep them in prayer, and then we're going to walk to the beach. It ain't like we're going to stop walking to the beach because y'all out there shooting and acting the fool. Y'all got police brutality going on. We sad for you. Does it mess with the dollar? Oh, no. Does it mess with my passport? Oh, no. Well, go ahead, America. Do your thing, then. That's how we feel for real. I know most content creators are not going to tell you that. They're going to make it seem like we're with you, brothers. No, we ain't. No, we ain't. No, they lying. They going fishing as soon as they get done with their broadcast on YouTube. That's why you'll never hear brothers like Russ pretend like Russ is quick to tell you that's why I left the United States. See, you're shooting up everything. So yeah, at the end of the day, we sit back and we empathize with you, but we can't sympathize because we ain't in it. We sympathize. We empathize means to understand what that person is going through. Sympathize means to actually have gone through it with that person. We ain't going through it with you. So I'm not about to say sorry, but we can't relate to a certain extent once you become an expat. And I love that. I didn't move to another country so I could relate to the United States. What? I didn't even move to, hey, Los, we didn't even move to another country to relate to that country because we might just move to another country. You go down to Colombia, you come down to Colombia and you see all these super Afro-Colombian sisters. And then you got a single dude like Los might say, you know what? I might have a thirst for the Afro-Brazilian for the next 3 years. And so he might decide to go down to Brazil for 3 years. You don't hold an allegiance like you did in the United States. You can be you for the next, some of us got 30 years left. I'm 54. We got about 30 good years with good health left. I'm not about to sit up and pretend like I got allegiance to a country when I don't. I'm not walking around here talking about my country, 'tis of thee. I'm not in the United States to say that. I don't have no I pledge allegiance. I ain't got no heart, nothing on my chest because of the Super Bowl. I'm not singing Star Spangled Banner, in other words. Oh, say can you see? I'm not about to pretend. Do I love the United States? Yes. Do I love the Star Spangled Banner? Yes. Do I love lift every voice and sing? Lift every voice. I love actually, personally, if it were me for the national anthem, it would be lift every voice and sing compared to the Star Spangled Banner. Actually, if you do your homework of the Star Spangled Banner, it was actually a drinking song. That's the crazy part. The melody of the Star Spangled Banner was actually a drinking song that they would sing in the clubs while they were getting drunk. Can you imagine the same song that you was getting drunk to in the club? Somebody wrote the national anthem using that same melody. Literally, the same melody as a drinking song. That's crazy. You can look it up. But yeah, you don't. All you care about is don't mess up them passports. Hey, please don't interfere with the passport laws. Thank you. And don't mess with the currency. Leave me alone. And we good. We good. So that's the other beauty of becoming an expat. You ain't tripping on stuff that goes on in the United States. You just kind of like feel it. You're like, oh man, that ain't fair. That's not right. But I can't do nothing about it. Okay. Me and Daly said, that's real too. I want to be a future expat and that cares much less and could care much less about what's going on in society in the United States. Andre and Master Teacher. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. One Master Teacher. I was just watching him the other day. One Master Teacher. That's too real. Yeah. One Master Teacher had me rolling, man. He had me rolling. He said, man, forget y'all, man. I'll be eating booties all over the world. I said, what? One Master Teacher? One Master Teacher said, yeah, I ain't gonna shame me. He said, man, I love all the ladies. I'll be eating booty everywhere. I said, okay, One Master Teacher, do your thing, brother. If you like it, I love it, brother. Let me see if I pronounce it right. Mfoy. Shout out to you, brother. What it do, fam? We talking. The topic tonight is about becoming an expat. We're gonna take a few minutes break, guys, just a few seconds. And while the break is running, I'm gonna run our new channel intro. All right, that's the new intro to the show, as well as our halftime. Unless you guys made me choose the Money World girl that y'all really don't like. But I really wanted to motivate you guys who haven't had your passports, and that's what we want our intro to be, is to let you guys see the passports of some famous people when they first got their passports. Like when Prince, Beyonce, you saw how young Beyonce was, how young Nicki Minaj was, Muhammad Ali was, when some of the greatest writers have become expats. You saw Martin Luther King's passport application. I wanted you guys to see this to give you a motivation of either becoming an expat or at least getting your passport, even if you're not going to use it right now. I'll repeat that. Even if you don't have any economic position, or you're focusing on taking care of your mom, your dad, or your sister, or you're deep in your career, and you know that, well, I'm not going to retire for another at least 10 years, doesn't mean anything. Get your passports. Get your passports right now. I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman. I'm going to be reaching out to him. I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman that his kids, before they hit 5 years old, had already gone through 3 passports. You know, the average passport has about 28 pages. That means that these kids were traveling. They were traveling like that before they were 5 years old with mom and dad. So I'm going to be talking about doing an interview with him in regards to passports and parenting. I got a couple of guys I want to interview regarding passport and parenting. I never want you to feel like because you're a parent that if the wife or the girlfriend or if your child's mother is willing to allow you and the children to travel to DR or travel to Mexico or even travel with her and let it be her first journey, whatever it may be. And your child gets the chance to experience or travel to Canada for the first time, to Toronto. Shout out Toronto, drive up to 401. I want to talk about how important you guys that was. And a lot of times when it came to those passports, that was the first time a lot of you have actually saw your favorite celebrities' passports. Like, man, that's Prince passport. I never thought about Tupac's passport. I never thought about Pac passport. I tried to find Biggie passport to add to it. I just couldn't find it. There's a few guys. I tried to find Snoop's. I tried to find Dr. Dre's. I thought I found Easy's, but I didn't. Some most famous writers that we've had in the Black Renaissance era, they've gotten their passports and moved to other countries. I didn't even know that Frederick Douglass moved to Ireland. The abolitionist. He didn't even stay around. He was like, free black people, I'm out. That's basically what he was doing. He gave his speeches, and Frederick Douglass was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Ireland. Why did he move to Africa? Because maybe God wasn't leading him to go to Africa. I was like, okay, brother. Well, I'm glad that you guys liked it. I'm really glad that you appreciate it, because I want you guys to actually see that as motivating factors for that we as people of color have been doing this passport thing and relocating thing for years. This is not a brand new era. We're the next wave of migration. I'll say that again. We're the next wave of migration of Black people that are relocating, opening up businesses, starting businesses, buying real estates, buying apartments, getting insurance, getting married, getting citizenships. I love when I saw Tina Turner get her Swiss citizenship. What? She comes back here for a tour to make her money, and she goes right back home like Diana Ross does, like Eve does. Next thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to being an expat, number 8, that'll make you be successful as an expat. You know that the United States is not the only country where you can find peace and happiness. People in the United States, our family members and our friends, will try to convince us that there is no place in the world that you will ever find peace and happiness except for the United States. If the United States wasn't so good, why does everybody trying to come here? Do you know people are saying that about Spain and Italy? When you start studying the other side of the world, there are people of African descent that are dying trying to get to Spain by hook or by crook, trying to get to Italy, trying to get to Portugal. The last country on their mind is the United States. They're like, it would take a lifetime for them to commute from where they are through South America, then make it all the way over to Colombia, go all the way up through the jungles of Colombia that connects to Panama, then make it all the way up through Central America just to get to the United States. They're like, man, nah, we got our own version of Europe that we're trying to get to. My point in saying that is, once you do your homework, you start to find out that the United States is not the only Shangri-La, place of peace and happiness that people are looking at. Everybody's not trying to come to the United States. Let's get that out your head right now. There are women that you're going to meet that are going to tell you, I like you, but I'm not leaving my country. Why? So I could deal with the United States? That's not about to happen. $10 a gallon gas, $7 a gallon gas, when in their country it's only $2 and something. Gas is still in the $2 range here in Colombia, $2.15, $2.16. And y'all sitting up there, by the time the year ends, Californians will be paying $11 a gallon. And you think that women want to come to the United States to pay $11 a gallon? Or in their own country, they're a nurse or a surgical tech or a doctor. They're an attorney. They come to the United States, none of those degrees transfer, none of those college credits transfer, none of that experience on their resume transfers. She is going to come to the United States so she could be scrubbing toilets in the Motel 6. As close as the Latin community is and the Asian community is to each other when it comes to family, you think they're going to give up their families for you? Now, are there people that meet their loved one and they move to the United States? Yes, I know some great couples that live in the United States right now that lived in one particular country prior to. I'm not denying that. But not everybody. And I'll even put it out here. Most people, you ask most Colombians, you ask most Brazilians, as bad as Argentina is with their rate of inflation, go ahead, ask the Argentinians, do they want to move to the United States? Go and ask them. The people ain't trying to give up their flag for your flag. Everybody don't like the United States like that. They don't hate the United States, but this myth that's been sold on our TV, they want to come here to get a green card. Well, it's hell. It takes hella of, you got to fill out the application, then you got to be patient, and then with that person, once they get the green card, they can't leave the United States for 3 years. They actually have to stay there and work for 3 years. So are you going to get this woman? So here's how it works. You ready? Here we go. You meet the chick in Colombia, Brazil, Panama, Canada. It's going to take you about a year, 2023, 2024, to even get your visa interview for that person. So you're with this person knowing that you can't take her to your country until the interview in 2024. Interview goes great. You bring her to the United States. Now you got to fill out the application for the green card. That's going to take months. She finally gets the green card, but she can't leave the country for 3 years because she's got to work. She's a tax-paying individual now. She's not a citizen, but she's a taxpayer now. But you want to take her and visit all these countries you used to visit. But America's saying, she's got a green card. She can't leave like that. Unless it's an emergency. So are you willing to tell me that you're willing to put your life on hold for almost 5 years for one chick just so she can live in the United States? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Ladies, are you trying to tell me that you watched Stella Got Her Groove Back, you went to Jamaica or you went to DR, you done got you a dude from DR, he done came to the States, got a green card, worked for 3 years before y'all could go visit anywhere else? You telling me, ladies, that you're going to sit up here with one man for 5 years and keep your life on hold for 5 years for one person? See, that's one of the reasons why me and Andrew, we compromised and decided, let's find a country that we don't have to do all that waiting around for. So when y'all sit back, y'all say, or when your family and your friends try to tell you everybody looks at America like it's the happiest place on earth, America is nothing. And I'm telling you this, America is nothing but Treasure Island in the book Pinocchio. And we all know what happened to the kids when they went to Pinocchio and treated it as if it was all cotton candy and Frito-Lay's potato chips and cake. All the kids who went there turned into jackasses and got swallowed up by the nearest whales. That's the United States for people that don't know about the United States. Your girl gonna get swallowed up by the nearest whale, or she gonna turn into a jackass just like Pinocchio did, thinking that it's flowers, cars, candy, Fruit Loops. I know dudes right now that got girls and women in the United States that are in school, and these dudes are miserable. You know why? Because now the girl is in school, because she can't go there and do nails because he don't want his girl to do nails. So now he put her in nursing school in the United States, right? She's got like half a job, but she's doing nursing school in the United States, or she's doing these classes or that class, or she's building a career. She's got her first job and this and that. And he's like, babe, don't you want to live in Europe for 6 months? She's like, no, I'm building a life here in the United States. I don't want to leave. Why? Because now she's got a car in the United States. See, y'all sit back, y'all think she gonna leave you, she gonna cheat on you. No. The number one thing that women do once they get to the United States, the worst thing is get established in the United States. She's working on citizenship. She's paying taxes. She's got a place to go where she gets her hair done twice a month. She's got a place where she goes to get her nails done. She's got a routine now, bruh. And now here you go, because you're a traveler. That's how you met her. And now you trying to turn her into something that she not, which is a traveler. In her country, she ain't had no money to travel like that, so the travel bug never hit her. The only country she ever went to is the United States with your ass. And now you stuck. Because she happy being stuck with her new routine in the United States. And some of you dudes are looking like, what was I thinking? Why did I bring her here? She never cheated on you. She never broke up the relationship. You guys have been together for 7 years and you are miserable because the traveler who you've become and how you met her, she is a person that's established a routine in a new country, and you ain't got no patience for that. You ain't got no patience for it. You like, I didn't bring you here to be happy. And I dang sure didn't bring you here so you get your hair done twice a week, get your nails done, do just like the regular. I could have just got with a regular American chick if I wanted all that. Well, what you thought you were bringing her to when you brought her to the United States, and it took you 5 years to get it all settled down the way that you want to. No. If this is not something that I heard or I made up or that I just looked up on my own, we actually hired an attorney, very well-known attorney that works with nothing but expats. And she gave us the rundown. She was like, Andrea, this is what everybody is looking at. Everybody that comes to the United States after the pandemic, this is the scenario that they're looking at. Even though we were just visiting, we found out about how it works for people that want to live there. So not everybody's trying to come to the United States. What they get, let's say on average, they get 50,000 people at the border a year. There are over 7 billion people in the world. I don't think that 50,000, I said 50 million, but 50,000 people coming to the border of Mexico every year is a drop in the bucket of 7 billion people. Everybody, get that out of your head. Everybody is not trying to come to the United States. Mexico is right there and they could just walk on in. Every Mexican is not trying to come to the United States. Canada right there. They're the #1 country in the world that got some sense in their head. Every Canadian is not trying to come to the United States. On the West Coast, Japan is right there. Every Japanese person is not trying to come to the United States. They're not, whether illegally or legally. The next thing that you need to get out of your head is what people in the United States try to sell you about the United States. Live your own definition. Now you live outside the United States, you can define what you see in the United States, not by what people have told you and what you thought. You'll redefine your definition of Black people in the United States. You'll redefine your definition to a certain extent of white people and Asian people and of Latin people in the United States. because now you're on the outside looking down from a bird's eye view. You're not in it, and all that ant confusion. You're the giant that's looking down. Now you can see everything for what it is once you live outside the United States. You see it all. You're like, oh, no. I see what they're doing now. I see what's going on now. I couldn't see it before, but I see it now. That's the beauty of living outside the United States. You don't have to be convinced just because your mama said, baby, ain't they kidnapping down there? You're like, what are you talking about, grandma? Ain't that country where they kidnap? Japan? Is that what you're talking about? I'm moving to Japan, grandma. It don't matter what country you say outside the United States, they think that you're going to get kidnapped. Grandma, I'm moving to Portugal. Ain't that country where they kidnap people, baby? In Portugal? Ranked one of the safest countries in the world? Grandma, I'm moving to Argentina. Ain't that where they kidnapping folks, baby, in Argentina? It ain't a country you can name that your family ain't gonna say that's where they kidnapping. You can see it's people in the United States so naive, they think Hawaii is outside the United States. Grandma, I'm moving to Hawaii. Ain't they kidnapping people in Hawaii, baby? I heard they kidnapping people. So realize, guys, that's the next one, that you are going to have to realize that United States is not the only country where you will be able to find peace. Just like Colombia is not the only. I know one guy who moved here to Colombia for a couple of years. Then he moved to Brazil and has been living his best life. But he lived his best life in Colombia too. But it was a time of, you know what? I got a passport. I'm not obligated to one country anymore that in which we were sold on. We moved. Hey guys who use your passports, just like the one brother named off 7 countries, 7, 8 countries he's going to visit. We, with a passport, we travel to other countries like going across the street. We travel to other countries like we're going to another city to go see somebody in concert. Well, you know, the Essence Festival's in New Orleans this year and the blah, blah, blah. We don't look at the dudes that use passports, ladies that use passports. We don't look at the world like you got partners in other countries. Hey, Rich, what you up to? None. I'm zooming to Thailand this weekend, man. I meet up with you. All right, Dre, come on, dude. We weren't talking like that in the United States. You notice in the United States, you never talk globally. You just talked about like I'm about to go down to Atlanta, see my boys. Go see my girls in Atlanta. Now you got your passport. You talking, I mean, we sit up there throwing countries around like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. We just visiting. Look at our grown asses. I'm so proud of us. Just men and women, especially people, men and women of color. We everywhere. We everywhere. You can sit up there and say, you know what? Let me go on Facebook, see if it's some black folks in Tibet visiting right now. And you go on Facebook, it's an expat group for Tibet right now. Let me go and reach out to them. Hey, y'all, I'm going to be in Tibet in 2 weeks. Hook me up with one of them temples. That's because we use our passports and we realize that the United States is not the only place. Not saying that it's not a place of peace. Not saying the United States is not a place where you can be happy, because a lot of our loved ones are happy in the United States and are at peace. But it is not the only place like we've been sold. Let me go to the comment section. Is Sean in the building? It's expensive to cross the border to the cartel control. The cartels control the border. I don't know where you got that one from. And they want to come to the United States, but it's not that easy, which is not true. You don't know because you were born in the States, which is not true. Cartels are happy where they are, where they're making money. let's say they're the Mexican cartels. Let's say the Mexican cartels. Let's ask yourself this. Why would a Mexican cartel that's making millions upon millions of dollars a week move to the United States and not make millions upon millions every week again? Why would they do that? I'm waiting for that answer. Just it makes no economical sense for them to say, man, if I could only take my cartel certification to the United States, I could really be a dealer then. You see what I'm saying? That statement that you made, Deshaun, is a perfect example of what people in the United States or on the outskirts of the United States have sold us for years. Everybody is not trying to get to the United States. Stop telling people that. Stop selling people that. Because at the end of the day, we as U.S. citizens have been sold so many lies that it's going to take us a minute to dispel and finally get used to the truths. That's why I have respect for the red pill community, because at least these brothers are like, listen, just like in the movie Neo, we realized that most of the stuff that we've been told in the States was a lie. Andre talked to some Colombian men. Don't just talk to the women. I talk to everybody. And the men will tell you the real. I mainly talk to the men. Do you live here, Deshaun? I mainly talk to the men. And there are men down here that are extremely proud of their country. Is Colombia perfect? Heck no. No country is. I said again, no country is. But they're willing to fight for the improvements of their country, just like we're willing to fight for the improvements of our country. These people are proud of their flag. Black people, we had to borrow our flag, by way of, we already know what the situation was. We were like, I guess since you brought me over here in boats, I guess I'm a U.S. citizen since I built everything, including the White House. We got our flag by like default. They didn't want us to be a part of it. They just like, since you're already here. No. Even post the transatlantic trade here in South America, these people flag. They serious about their flag. Afro-Colombians and Afro-Brazilians, they're serious about their flag. Not like us. We kind of like, it's American flag, I might wear an American flag t-shirt once or twice in a lifetime, but we don't take it all that serious. Colombians, you already know. You're going to see that yellow, red, and blue everywhere. And not just in the European white Colombian community. Everywhere you're going to see that. So they take pride in the improvement of their country and their culture. Are there some Colombian men that would say for their families, go to the United States, make some money, and come back? Yeah, I can see that. But just be on that, I'm just going to the United States forever and I'm never coming back. Colombians don't talk like that. You got Colombians twisted. Brazilians twisted. Uruguayan and Chileans twisted. Chileans. People from Argentina and Ecuador, you got them twisted. You got South America twisted, bruh. For real. They do not play when it comes to their nation. Just like we don't play when it comes to our U.S. nationality. They love their country too. I don't like when people sit back and try to act like the people in their own country don't love their country. And if we open up the border, all of South America will be empty. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Everybody ain't trying to go. Dude, everybody ain't trying to get shot at a McDonald's or a Walmart. They ain't trying to see their kid get shot at school. Everybody trying to see their kid harassed by a police officer, and a police officer put their foot on their husband's neck for 9 minutes. Everybody ain't trying to be in an environment where it's $11, $12 gallon gasoline. You pay for eggs. Eggs are 3 times as much. Everybody ain't trying to live in that environment. Everybody not trying to live in an environment where you got traffic jams going in to work. You got traffic jams coming out of work. Everybody's not trying to live in that environment. So that product, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll past your next comments, Deshaun, because I'm gonna tell you something, man. You really need to do a reflection on how other people look at their own countries, because just like we love our country, 'tis of thee, they feel the same way about their own country. Colombia plays the national anthem twice a day on the radio, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, every single day. These people love their families and love their country. Are there, like I said, are there people that will be willing to leave? Of course, that's in every country. Just like me, I was willing to leave the United States, and other dudes are willing, ladies are willing to leave the United States too. So there are Colombians and Brazilians and Venezuelans that are, even though over 250,000 Venezuelans live and have left Venezuela, when the borders opened, and Venezuelans are everywhere around the world now, there are millions upon millions of Venezuelans that have sat and wrote it out, and they are not leaving their country. So when you sit back and you say that everybody in the United States want to live in the United States, I mean, from outside the United States want to live in the United States, or ask the Colombian men, man, you need to talk to these people yourself for real. And also stop talking to only poor people, because poor people don't like their situation at all. So don't just be talking to poor people. Anywhere is unsafe for family members. Yeah. You can't go to church. You can't go to mosque. You can't go to synagogue in the United States. You can't go to McDonald's. Name something. You can't go to work. Don't tell me they blowing your head off at work. You can't go nowhere in the United States. You see how the one story a couple months ago, what was about a month ago? Dude, they were at like, what it was it a wedding ceremony? Not the ceremony, but like the after party. Dude come in, a brother came in there, pull out a gun. I'm killing everybody. I'm killing. The sister had to pull her gun out of her purse, playa, and kill the dude before he killed some other people. You think that these people you think these people don't see the United States on the news and what y'all doing? Okay, y'all keep on celebrating like the days of the United States being is over. I'm gonna say that again. The days of everybody else in the world looking at the United States like y'all or like we're them days done. That came to an end like pre-COVID, but it really hit during COVID when every other country was on lockdown and the United States was still open, like it was like Easter Sunday, where everybody out there. And other countries were like watching United States citizens die in the millions and 100,000 people a day. The respect for the United States plummets. You can ask dudes that travel. Remember the days when you could walk up to a chick like, yeah, I'm from the United States. Yeah, girl, don't give me that love. Them days gone. They in Colombia, you probably get more play for knowing English than being a U.S. citizen. Oh, he know English, girl. But that because you a U.S. citizen, man, you ain't getting no coochie because of that. No, them days gone. She wants you because you might be, oh, I ain't never had no black dude. You might get the coochie because of that in another country. But because you're a U.S. citizen, them days gone. And anybody with a passport can tell you right now in the comment section that because you're a U.S. citizen, I don't be a damn thing no more. Them days gone. Pandemic shot all that. Man, before the pandemic, you could be like, yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen. Yeah, girl, bow down. Let me get that. Oh, he from the States, girl. Them days gone. You can't go to Italy with that. You can't go to Spain. You can't go to Uruguay, Paraguay, Ecuador. You can't go to the Philippines with that. Boy, U.S. used to have the bragging rights. Them days gone, dog. So all that you talk about the United States, that is we the one U.S. Yeah, you can let that one go, bro. Them days gone. If a female let you smash, it's because she like you, not because you're a U.S. citizen. Because she like, ooh, I like him. I'm gonna let him smash. But to let you smash because you're a U.S. citizen, them days done, bro. I know I was beating a dead horse, but I just want to emphasize on that for everybody. Do not think you go into another country and she gonna give you the coochie because you're from the U.S. No, she gave you that coochie because she liked what she saw. Now she might want your money because you're from the U.S. or you might be flaunting like that. But as far as like treating you like you special because you're from the U.S., man, them days been gone. You talking to Strata 5, Strata 6 in Colombia? That's where I am. And they would travel to U.S., yes, but the majority are comfortable and will stay in Colombia. Yes. Andrea, like she was, this is before we even talked about it. Andrea told me, like, we really first got strong in our relationship. She already told, she said, I'll visit your country. She said, I might give you 4 months at the most. I'll drag out 4 months. But to live in the United States, Andrea like, nah, man, I can't. Nah. She said, I can't do it. I'm sorry, player. And I never wanted her to. Never. We ain't never wanted to live in the United States like that. There's many countries out here, man. Did I not tell you I got 30 years left? 30. You think about to spend the next 30 in the stuck United States? Man, y'all rapping, man. I ain't gonna sit up there be stuck in the United States because y'all think it's the cool kids. Nerds got passports. Believe that, nerdy dudes like me, we got passports, man. You guys the cool kids of the United States. You can go ahead and be with the cool kids. Y'all might try to sit up there and be dealing with that mess of the United States. Okay, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Colombia. Yeah, he's right. And decrease their standards of living. And that's what people don't realize. You got dudes, dude. Remember I said we went to that small town, like really small town with that church just 2 days ago? You saw BMWs. You saw Mercedes. Them foreign people. Because Colombia provides its own. So they got their own corn here. They got their own eggs here. They make their own milk here. So a lot of stuff, sugar cane here. So those farmers getting paid out there. You think they don't throw that away just so they can sit back and say, I'm in the United States? Psh, please. They don't give a damn about the United States. And then take their daughter or son to the United States just so the kids can get shot at? Right. Would you do it? Would you take your kids to, okay, Deshaun, if you already got a life established, you balling out of control in your country, or at least for your currency, your kids are doing fine, they looking good, you driving a Mercedes-Benz truck in a small town, you got 2 mistresses, and you got your wife. Would you leave all that and go to the United States? Would you do it? With no guarantee of income, no green card, you washing dishes at a Chinese restaurant. Your kids ain't got no guarantee for scholarships, no guarantee for Pell Grants, nothing. Would you do it? Let's not talk about other people doing it. Would you do it? Would you leave Colombia? If you were successful in Colombia, successful in Argentina, successful in any Philippines, whatever country, you successful. You got you 2 houses and you got you a finca, in other words, a vacation farmland. When the holidays come, you could go and drive and take your family on vacation on your own farmland that you own. Like I said, you got the trucks, the cars, your kids going to college. They got motorcycles and bikes and everything. And would you throw all that away to move to the United States? And you got the audacity to put other people in that scenario like, well, everybody wants to come to the United States. Well, would you do it? since we run off at the mouth, what any of you dudes, I'm coming to you, all of us. What any of I'm telling you now, I ain't doing it. Damn, I ain't going back now. I make more now than I did then. Because why? My spidey senses start showing me, hey, you can start this online. You could do that online. You could do, wait a minute. You telling me I could take all the businesses that I have, and as long as there's somewhere in a country that has good Wi-Fi, I could live in that. So I could do like me and Andre. We could go to DR for a month. Some of you could only go to DR for a few days. We go to DR for a month. Why? Because as long as I got a laptop and her laptop, our businesses are on the go. I'm not throwing that away. Are you crazy? And I'm a U.S. citizen. If I ain't throwing it away, why would people that live here and are successful throw it away? Man, you out your rabbit mind. Because answer the question, would you do it? Would you throw away, if you was in that situation and you were successful in another country, would you throw it away? That's the only answer that I'm going to respond to tonight. Other than that, Deshaun, I ain't trying to hear nothing else you got to say, bro. No offense, I got love for you, but nah, bro. What are you thinking? To me, U.S. culture is boring and fake. Man, there is so much. I remember one dude, man, if y'all don't start showing some love with some super chats, I've been on here for a couple hours, man. Show your brother some love. I appreciate you. And make sure you click that like button, guys. Thank you, Felicia, for being supportive also as the moderator. I appreciate you more than anything. The live stream queen. We're waiting for your channel, for you to put together a channel too, if ever you want to. So at the end of the day, you didn't answer my question, Deshaun. I see that. Would you do it? Would you, if you were successful in any country in the world, you're already successful, you good, why would you throw that away to move to the United States? Unless you answer that question, you ain't answering no question. No, you're not saying anything. Okay, let's go on to the next one, guys, because I know you guys have been here for a couple hours. You know how I can go. One of the things that's going to make you successful as an expat, we're looking at number 9, is that you start to realize that the new rich, and I've heard this several times, that the new rich are those that have time and peace. That's the new rich. People that have time to enjoy life, to live life, to travel if you want to either just find one country and just enjoy. That's the new rich. You'll find so many dudes that leave the United States, they're making good money or decent money. Whether they're still working for their company and they're working for their company online, but they're living here in Colombia. And for Colombian currency, they're making really good money. But their rich come in because they have time now. You know how much time you save when you're not driving through rush hour traffic every day? You know how much wear and tear on your mind mentally when you don't have to deal with that type of traffic? Just the traffic. We're just talking about traffic. Chicago, LA traffic, Jersey traffic, going back and forth from New York to Jersey. That I-4, shout out to I-4. If you work in Orlando, but you live in Tampa, or you work in Tampa and you live in Orlando, and that 2 hour, or it's supposed to be 45 minutes, but it's a commute. It's a 2 hour to sometimes 6 hour commute. How much wear and tear on your brain and your body that doesn't take place. Now that you're not even dealing with rush hour traffic anymore. Some of the most creative individuals are individuals that sat back and was like, you know what? I own more property in DR than I did in the United States because my mind is clear and my money is right. There are dudes that are like that. There are ladies that are like that. You got people that are U.S. citizens like me that love the United States. It ain't a job that you can offer me that probably could last more than maybe a year. And I'm stretching it with that. I'm kind of lying. Really 6 months. I could give you a job. If you offer me a contract to do something, I could be in the United States for 6 months. After that, I gotta at least leave for 6 months, leave for about good 6 or 7 days and come back and finish off the contract. But to do a whole year in the United States, you got to realize there are people that left the United States, and we love the United States, but we can't stomach being there. I'm not trying to go into a Walmart worrying. I'm serious about that. I'm not trying to go to go. I watched a headline the other day, and the guys rolled up into Burger King, and they actually ordered, like, let me get a Whopper and this one and that one and this one and some fries. It was $25. The one guy said, "Man, I'm glad I didn't order a soda." In other words, them dudes was sitting up there eating dry burgers and fries. It still came out at $25. Just 2 burgers, 2 fries. You think there are people from the United States that are U.S. citizens that live outside the United States? We're trying to run back to that. I just had an amazing meal with Andre yesterday. When we were in that small town, come to think of it. Great, big, you know me, I'm pescatarian, so I like my seafoods. Big piece of fish. Andrea had her meal. We had all this food, big table full of food. Between the two of us, including tip and drinks, $10. Do you think as a U.S. citizen, I'm trying to go back to where I can't even get a burger if I was a person that ate? Let's put it like this. I'm paying out the tail for a fillet of fish, and I don't need to eat McDonald's. So if a U.S. citizen is not trying to go back, how much more that there are other people that ain't trying to go there? Because the new rich is the ability to have time and peace. The ability to have time and peace. I have had so many medical checkups here, not because I had to, but because I have time to. I don't have to take time off work. And even as a business owner in the States, I still don't have to take time off projects. I could take time to focus on my health because I have time and peace. I don't have to live a Kardashian life. I don't have to live a Jay-Z life. Technically, I live better than Jay-Z. I live way better. He's got to continue to juggle his businesses, which is great. But it doesn't matter who you are. Soon as Jay-Z get in that limousine, he got to deal with that rush hour traffic, don't he? He has to equate for time no matter what. Soon as he gets off his private plane and he gets into no matter what type of car he's in, he still has to deal with hours out of his life between commutes to a location and from a location because everyday traffic is thick all over the United States. I ain't got to deal with that, and I drive all day long. Your time and your peace is the United States. You're 50% more likely to die of stress and heart failure than any other country in the world. I was looking up the other day. Me and Kings of Dreams today, actually, me and Kings were talking about this. United States doesn't even rank in the top 10 countries for freedom of speech. United States is number in the 13th, I think 13th, 14th country as far as just freedom of speech. I say some things on this YouTube channel. I'm working for somebody else. They calling me into HR. Well, Andre, somebody discovered on your YouTube channel you were highly offensive. We might have to talk about your position here with the company. I got peace. I ain't got to deal with that. Your number one commodity of being an expat will be that you have time and you have peace. I'm going to end this segment right here and go on to number 10. There's a story. I mentioned this story before. Old story. It's a businessman story. Businessman goes to South America. He sees a man that's successful in fishing in his lake. He said, man, you're such a successful fisherman. He said, why don't you hire other fishermen or other teams to help you out? He said, what do you do when you're not fishing? He said, well, I just give fish to my friends and we just sit around, play the guitar and just have a good time. He said, well, in order to have more time to do that, why don't you just hire more fishermen? He said, why would I do that? He said, so you can open up a fish store. He said, why would I do that? He said, so you can build a franchise of fish stores. He said, why would I do that? So you can have an international conglomeracy of fish markets and sell your fish, import and export your fish around the world. He said, why would I do that? So you can work hard and retire. He said, why would I do that? So you can give fish to your friends and play the guitar when you retire. The fisherman said, I already play the guitar and I already give fish to my friends. The United States has taught us to go the roundabout way to getting to what we really want anyway. What do retired military people want? Peace and time. What about people that, I'm from Detroit, big three, Chrysler, Ford, GM. What do they want when they retire? Peace and time. What about retired school teachers or nurses or doctors? What do they want? Peace and time. What about those business owners that's going to leave it to their kids, the next generation? Son, I'm leaving the gas station to you. Why? Because old dude wants peace and time. I'm 54. And instead of waiting until I was 65 to retire, I decided to retire at 50. Why? Because I wanted peace and time. I have what society told me to wait until 62, 65, or 70 to get. So while you do sitting around making your 300,000 a year, or I'm gonna buy my 5th truck for my trucking company, I'm with you, brother. Go for your dreams. But while you doing yours, I grab my computer and my business goes everywhere I go. Some of you guys have come down here. You saw me in a bar with a beer in my headphones, and I'm editing or I'm focused on another branch of our businesses because I got peace and time. And that's what I want for all of us. I want all of us to have that new rich, the new rich. And you can look it up. You don't have to just go by what Andre says. Look it up. Peace and time is the new rich. The millennials know this. Generation Y knows this. Peace and time. Number 10. Well, let me go into the comment section. Shout out to Jay. It's wise to have two remote. Yes. Is it wise to have two remote jobs if you plan on living overseas like Colombia? I'm gonna tell you something. I know some of you that you come on board with Love Crossing Borders over the last few months. That's how I started, Jay. Shout out to you for the super chat. That's how I started. I left my corporate job. I was making about 65, 70,000 a year, which was not bad. I had my house paid off in Florida in the suburbs. Shout out to Riverview. I had a Ford F-150 Harley Davidson edition, 2015. I was good. Smashing every hot chick I could see. From there to from Tampa to Orlando, Daytona, all the way to Miami, all up in Jacksonville, being nasty. I'm doing good, right? I was miserable. I knew there was something missing from my life. Even though on the outside, I looked like I should have everything. I should be happy. But I wasn't. Having two remote jobs that didn't pay me as much, but yet I could live in another country and have peace. You can have that big ass house, that $250,000 house, you can have it. That $60,000 F-150, you can have it. That $70,000 salary, and got to deal with bosses and clients and students, because most of you guys don't remember, I was a academic college recruiter for 20 years. All that dealing with students and parents and up. Knucklehead women in the United States with that modern girlfriend. I'm Miss Diva. I'm Miss Boss Routine. I gave all that up. Give me the two remote jobs, peace, time, in a country that I know that I can be at ease in. Man, I have more peace and time. And then when I was working my two jobs, that's when Ace walked in. Ace came through. Ace was like, y'all need a YouTube channel. I'm like, what the heck you talking about? And once we start focusing on YouTube, then all of a sudden we started focusing on affiliate marketing. And once we started focusing on affiliate marketing, then we started focusing on sponsorships. Now we're getting paid for sponsorships, affiliate marketing, consultations, other parts of our brand. Now we're looking at real estate. We go, okay, let's do the Airbnb thing. So now we're looking at real estate. All this stemmed from two online jobs. I never would have been thinking like this if I was still stuck in my cubicle in the States for the money. Because I had the big house. Because I had the big Ford F-150 Harley Davidson truck. Man, white boys used to love my truck. Man, I pull up to the gas station, man, white boys used to be like, oh my God, dude, it was the Oakland Raiders gray too. Yeah, man. So go for it. Go for it. My motto was this: what outside of health, and I say this often, outside of health, I told myself, what is the worst thing that could happen, Andre, if you left the country and you started working online jobs or little small contract jobs? What would be the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen was I went back to the United States, blew off my resume, got another job, built my money up, and got the hell back out the United States. If that's the worst that could happen, the worst that could happen was blowing off my resume, I'm out of here. Give me them two online jobs. And like I said, when you do that, Jay, now your spidey senses kick in. And you start noticing, hey, I could do this online. I never knew they had that opportunity. I could do that online. I never knew they could do that online. I could buy on. A lot of you guys don't realize you could buy a lot of online businesses that are already established. If you go to flipper.com, FILPPA.com. There are other .coms that are like this, but Flipper is the most famous one. All Flipper is a place where people buy and sell online businesses, from small ones to major ones. I'm talking about if you ain't coming with 500, 600,000, $500,000, you can't buy this online business. To where small ones, you can buy them for low as $200 and it's already been established. Flipper.com. That's all they do. It's just a website where people go to who want to sell an online business that they've established, or people that want to purchase online businesses. And some of you dudes could take $1,000, purchase an online business that's already been established. The person will already walk you through it. Thank you, Deshaun. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. I did buy one. Actually, I did. That's how I got into affiliate marketing. I actually bought an established, because I didn't know how to set up an affiliate marketing program. So I bought one, and then I used the assistance of individuals on Fiverr.com. That's another one. Fiverr.com, where people will do anything for you starting at $5 on up. So I had somebody who knew how to do affiliate marketing that I hired on Fiverr that lives in another country. So I own an affiliate marketing company. I took a few dollars and hired somebody, and they ran everything for me. You don't think like that in the States because your spidey senses don't tingle. Why? Because you're getting wages. You're getting a salary. Some of you, and that's most of us, some of you have a business or you're in the military. So you have something that's attached, that you're attached to, something tangible to where you have to be in the States. And I understand that. But for those that don't have to be in the States, man, please. I'm Jay. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. That's exactly what I did. I got 2 online jobs. That's exactly how I did it. And that's why I tell dudes all the time, I would rather make $50,000 a year outside the United States than to make $200,000 a year in the United States. I used to say 150,000, but I even say 200 easily. If somebody would have offered me $200,000 a year to come back to the United States, I'm like, get the hell out of here. You keep that money. And if all I was making was $50,000 a year outside the United States, you know how far you got to realize $50,000 a year outside the United States in Colombia is equivalent to $200,000 a year in the United States. And as an expat, I get all these U.S. tax breaks. Why the hell would I go back to the United States for $200,000? Man, y'all can have the United States and your little $200,000 job. You can have it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You can have it. The rich now is time and peace. Some of y'all make $200,000 a year, but you so stressed out. Your boss's boss getting on your last nerve. The people that work under you getting on your last nerve, always late for work, not completing the projects. You have to stay after work to make sure everything is on cue for the next day. You busting your butt. You are worth more. You do more work because you on salary now, so you can't get overtime. Some places do that, but not all. So even though you get paid $250,000 of work, you doing $350,000 of work for real, because the people under you ain't on point like they need to be. Why? Because there are over 4 million open job positions in the United States right now. So as soon as you fire somebody, they're gonna look at you like, and so now you got all the employees that you do have the job that they're supposed to be doing. And you doing all this stressed out for $250,000, man. You keep your 250, bruh. I'm happy. Dude, I ain't hating. I am not sitting back looking down on somebody, but I am saying you got your 250,000. You started from 35,000 and you worked your way up. I'm happy for you. You went to college and you got college loans and debts and all that. Get your money, baby. But or you got your kids to take care of. I'm with you, bruh. But as for me, I left the United States, and in less than 3 years, a six-figure dude every year since then. Note, I wasn't a six-figure dude while I was in the United States. Remember I said I was at 70. All of a sudden, my spidey senses and all these superpowers start kicking in. Bought the business on Flipper. Started getting affiliate marketing. Started working with other professionals, you guys, that can do some things, showing me about setting up trusts, expat, life insurance, and all this stuff. Get my body on track, my health, because the food I eat don't have the GMOs, growth modified organism in them like the United States do. Pesticides in foods in Colombia is illegal. So I don't get the garbage in my system that you do. Plus, I don't eat McDonald's, heart attack in a sack. I don't eat that. I ain't got no crazy U.S. female messing with my head. Shout out to the females of the United States. I'm not talking about all ladies, because there's some really good women in the United States. But I'm talking about sometimes when we were making bad choices, being good men choosing the bad women. We were good men, but quite often we chose the wrong woman. I ain't got that stress. And you think that for $200,000 I would go back to the States for that? Yeah, that's not happening, bro. So I'm with you, Jay. You right, Blade Runner. Peace is priceless. Peace and time. Remember the song "Hey Diddle Diddle" with the silver spoon? Little boy blue and the man in the moon. That song was about the son asking his dad, "Dad, can we play?" Dad said, "I'm going to get to you, son. Don't worry about it. I got you. We're going to play." Dad had the whole song, that old school 60s song. That song was that Little Boy Blue, Man in the Moon. All that was about a son want to play with his dad. The last verse of the song, the dad was older and said, "Son, do you have time I got time to play. Can you hang out with me now?" But the son had learned from the dad and became a businessman like the dad. And we're going to get to you soon. I'll get to you soon, Dad. We're going to play real soon. Hey, diddle diddle with the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. The last verse was about the son watched his dad not have time for him. And when the dad had finally had time, the son followed the dad's pattern and didn't have time for the dad. The song was all about having time for the important people and time for the important things in life. And your little 200,000, man, please. I wish the hell I would go back to the United States for 200,000. That is not happening, bro. And about 30 to 40% of that's going to be taxed anyway, whether it be your regular tax, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, whether it be the tax that once you get your portion of the money, then you're going to be taxed at the grocery store, taxed at the gas station. Your little measly $250,000, man, please, you might walk away with 90 after you get done being taxed everywhere you turn. That doesn't include your college debt. Oh, you got a shorty, child support. Come on, let's be real with Mr. 200,000. I'll come on, Mr. 300,000. Let's push it on up. 300,000 a year. Andre, would you come back to the United States for $300,000 a year? I wouldn't come back to the United States for $500 a year. Are you out your rabbit ass mind? No, no, no. When I know that my 6-figure is equivalent, let's say last year we just made 100,000. Let's just say for 2020 we made 100,000 last year, right? Sitting at this desk in my little sitting up in my room like Brandy, right? The rate of exchange plus all the US tax breaks I get is equivalent to me making 400,000. So why would I go back to the United States for 500,000 if I'm already making money that's equivalent to 400,000? Any of y'all that come down here, y'all, when I pick y'all from the airport, y'all be like, oh, this dude is not ragging one of them raggedy trucks. He down here riding good. I don't take y'all to beat up restaurants. I don't take y'all to the poor nightclubs, to some hole in the wall in a bad area of town. I take y'all to the nice areas where women got to get dressed up and look good to walk through the door. So at the end of the day, why would I throw all that away for 500,000 in the United States? Man, please, y'all can keep that. Time and peace is the new rich, is the nouveau rich. Don't you ever forget that, and don't you let nobody try to fool you. Like I mentioned when I first started, in the United States, their job as a corporation is to pay you enough to keep you from quitting your job as long as you do enough to keep from getting fired from your job. That is corporate America in the United States. Now, if you do more, you can get a salary bump or a raise or a promotion, of course. But even once you get that promotion, they offer you enough of a promotion in your wages or your salary to where you don't quit as long as you don't do anything to F it up. You do just enough to keep us from firing you, we'll make sure we pay you just enough for you to keep from quitting. And that's the United States. But the problem is this: a lot of you guys are too impatient with yourself and you don't trust yourself. You have never worked for yourself ever. You've never worked for somebody else online. Every job that you've had, even if you don't start a business, every job you've ever had was brick and mortar, meaning that you got up in the morning, you yawned, you had sex with your girl, you walked the dog, took the trash out, and you drove to work. Right? That's all you know is brick and mortar, a building that you can see. Some of you guys have never worked online 100% ever, except for during a pandemic. So your subconscious can't equate the fact that you can do that from now on. You're so scared because all you know is brick and mortar. That's all you know. You think that online is not as real as brick and mortar. It is just as real. When it hit your bank account, I bet you it was real. So even if, like the one brother said, even if he comes down here with 2 online positions, and let's say he came down here and he started in Colombia making 40. Let's say he's making 40. He leaves the United States, he was making 62 in the United States. Even though the average male in the United States, white male makes $52,000 a year. The average black male only makes $41,000 a year on average in the United States. You can look it up. Department of Labor and Statistics. So let's say he comes to Colombia, you're only making 41 a year. I'll be going to the super chat in a second, Mo. Thank you. You're only making 41 a year. but you live it, which is the average black man salary anyway, but you living in Colombia. While you're in the States, that 41 is nothing but 41. You come to Colombia, that 41,000 a year is now 116. I mean 160, my bad. Because you quadruple it. Each US dollar is worth 4 here. So even if you decide to do 2 online jobs and you're only making 40 a year because of the rate of the dollar, you still killing it better than most Americans in the United States. The average American in the United States doesn't even have $1,000 cash for emergency fund. I bet you I do. And I ain't even in the States. In other words, just $1,000 emergency fund pot of me, for me, that's $4,000 put to the side. Just talking about emergency, just, hey, something happened. That's as if I just put $4,000 to the side. And 85% of Americans don't even have that. 85%. Yeah, your neighbors, your coworkers, if you were to ask them if they got $1,000 cash put to the side somewhere, whether it be in a bank account or whether it be cash, just in case something happens to the bank, they don't have that. Not with gas prices at almost $6, $7 in many places. That's why I speak it and I break the facts down when it comes to relocating outside the United States. That's why I say take your time, be patient, give it the years that it needs to be given. If it takes years, be patient with yourself, but don't get caught up on the money part. I promise you. You go to some of these countries like zooming to Thailand, the most expensive part of everybody that says this about Thailand, the most expensive part is the flight. Because living in Thailand is in Vietnam is cheaper than Colombia. You think it's inexpensive here? Go ahead, zoom to Thailand. Go ahead, go to Vietnam and see what you can get. Bali. Go on, shoot over to Bali. The most expensive part is the flight. Once you get past the flight, you living like a czar. When you get a chance off this live stream, go look up some spots in Bali. Go ahead, look up some spots in the Philippines, Vietnam. Not North Vietnam, of course, South. Don't, man, they fool us so much in the United States, man, with the wages thing. That's why I always say, when it comes, let me go back to Mo. Shout out to Mo. Yes, sir. A lot of truth tonight. Some real revelation. Yeah, thank you very much, Mo. I appreciate you, brother. Oh yeah, guys. I'm glad that was brought up. I do the list of online jobs you sent me by email was a treasure. Thanks, Andre. Guys, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mad Dallas. If you are interested, I have a list of online, it's absolutely free, no charge. I've created it and I always update it. I have a list of online companies. There are 300 different companies and jobs. I have it broken down from how much you get paid. I mean, I've got jobs that start from $10 an hour all the way to jobs that start from $30 an hour. I got jobs on there that are contract work where you work from project to project, to where you got jobs where you just work 30 to 40 hours a week. This is absolutely free. I knew it was needed because I wish somebody had something like that for me when I came down here. Felicia, if you don't mind just sharing my basic email, and I will get that list out to you guys, the same list that the brother was talking about. These companies hire year round. So it's not like, well, they're, because some online companies just do hire either seasonally or they just have a couple positions open. These companies hire year round. And I'm actually going to be putting together a list of international companies that hire year round. That's my next list that I'm going to be putting together to give away, because I know guys personally that live here in Colombia and live in the States, that they actually work for companies that some are in Germany. Some companies they work for online are in Switzerland. Some of them are in Ireland. Some of them are here, but they live in the States and they work for the company. So don't just think that the companies that you need to look for are companies that are based in the US. There are companies that'll pay you US dollars, even though the home base for the company is somewhere overseas. So I'm going to put that list together too. But Felicia, if you're still up, or I can actually do it too as well. This is my email, guys. Email me and I will get this out to you, gentlemen and ladies, if you are interested in online job opportunities, because they're out there. That's where the world is going. You save so much money when you're not paying. Just the common sense of corporations like Google saying, yeah, you guys don't need to come back in. Facebook is saying you don't need to come back in. A lot of banks are saying you guys don't need to come back into the brick and mortar. We'll do a lot of stuff online, and then we'll just do a lot of stuff by way of the local banks. There are a lot of companies. Pandemic taught a lot of companies that they do not need to have their full staff back in the office. They could just have part of their staff in the office. So remember that. Said as the new president of Colombia is good, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. It's only been a week, so nobody knows. Nobody's want to guess. Nobody wants to assume. And so just get a man and give the lady a chance. Just like with Trump, just like with Biden. All we can do is give these people a chance in a problematic global economic situation. So any president is dealing with this situation from a global perspective of inflation in their own country. So, all we can do is give the guy a chance. All right. Munchie says, Andre, I heard a guy say that he had 3-bedroom apartment with a pool and a jacuzzi. Oh yeah, I can see that easy. Here in Colombia, yeah. I can see somebody doing that in Bali or in Thailand. Let me know what country. Oh yeah, Vietnam. You said Vietnam. By the way, Vietnam is now one of the countries, is now one country, no north or south. Wow. Thanks for the list. Oh yeah, man. Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. Like a little trivia about Vietnam. But yeah, man, dude. The average American on Social Security makes more than over 50% of the world. The average American just getting Social Security. And we know Social Security ain't nothing. And yet you make more than 50% of the world. I always said this. If I was in the United States, I was on Social Security, I wouldn't be in the United States. I understand why people that are older are crossing the borders to Mexico, to Panama. I understand. When that Social Security check and that your medical needs start adding up while you in the States, and all you got to do is cross the border, and you got a peace of mind. Your kids live in another state anyway with their kids, and it's just you living in Florida. Man, please, there is no way in the world I'm be lonely and broke in the United States when all I gotta do is cross a border with a car. Man, please, I'm out. Oh, in Thailand, thank you, brother. That I could believe. That I could believe. I didn't say that at all. I didn't say. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put you in timeout for a minute, because you just been on that BS all night long. And I'm one of the people, I hate putting people in timeout. But when you say some stupid, see, here's what it is. I'm gonna tell y'all something for real. When you are going for, let's say you got somebody like Andrea, and you're going for your visa, people like that, if you feed off into them, then the people in Colombia and the United States that look at Love Crossing Borders will look at this episode and say, well, Andre said that they didn't like blah, 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 blah. Now they're questioning Andrea at the embassy when she's trying to get her U.S. visa. You see where I'm going with that? Since we already hired an attorney to let us know that there's people out there that are like this person that just showed up, I don't feed into it. You see how I didn't feed off into it and I just got rid of them? So at the end of the day, guys, I'm strategic. I'm strategic. Thank you guys for being here for so long. We're about to wrap this up in a few moments. But when you cause drama, it's time for it's time for the timeout, man. You just doing childishness. Okay, you say just email. Okay, cool. Okay, Twan, I got you. Because after this, I'm going to go ahead and email you guys back. So if you email me, I'm going to send you that list like right after we get done with this. Like literally, once we get done with this live stream, I'm going to literally send you guys the email. Bad Dollar say that was a terrible thing for him to say. Yeah, that was stupid. Like I already gave my opinion on the presidency. Like, hey, do it a chance. Let's see what happens. So you saying that y'all don't like? See, I'm like, okay, I know what this is. I recognize this. This is just somebody that's just doing some, just trying to bait us in to get something on record that may or may not be used against us down the line. You see what I'm saying? While I'm working on my citizenship, then all of a sudden they go to Love Crossing Borders and they're like, well, we heard you say blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what I said. So keep those people away. Okay, the last thing that we're going to look at, guys, is, number 10. Number 10 way to make sure that you're successful when it comes to being an expat is make sure that you have a plan to be or a plan to do something that you love. I love doing work online. Russell, he loves working with the kids in the orphanage. Zoom to Thailand, he loves doing what he's doing as far as his channel and his brand. Ace loves to travel. You got Flyboy Way, he loves real estate. Find out what it is that you love to do. Some people love golf. Find out what that thing is that you love to do when you become an expat. Are you a writer? Now you got time. Get it? Time where you didn't have time before because you were dealing with all that traffic. Are you a person that likes to just help and encourage people in the community and you're good with Spanish? Are you a person that teaches Spanish? You always want to be an online teacher. Or Portuguese. The number one thing that you want to do, people think that when you move to another country, you're going to be sitting back, sipping on lemonade. You ain't going to do nothing else. That's it. I'm just going to wake up and go to sleep. I remember the dude the Asian brother that wrote the book, F You Money. And he said, once I made my millions, he said, I retired. He said, I was in my 30s. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm good. He said, first couple of months, he said, I went to this, I forgot what country he went to. He said he went to this beach. Yeah, Dan Locke. Thanks. Dan Locke. He said, I went to this beach. He said, and after a few weeks, I was tired of going to the beach. He said, so I started watching movies. He said, and after a few weeks, I was tired of watching movies. He said, so I went to go see my mentor. He said, I told him what was going on with me. He said, and my mentor told me, I'm surprised you lasted this long. That's why you still see people that have money. You see a boxer that could have retired many times over, still boxing. Or you will still see a person like Jay-Z that you don't have to go out there and go to work. Him and Beyonce doesn't have to do another tour. These people do not have to do another tour. If it's nothing else, they do not have to tour. But yet they schedule their tours. You've got people, like I said, you got people like Russ, Tailor-Made Dreams, who's still buying real estate, who's still helping in the community, still going to workshops to get more knowledge for us who want to move to DR. Find something that you enjoy, that you really love to do, not only including your job, or your business to where you make money, but also something outside of it. If you like the rollerblade, if you like archery, and you really want to get off into it. If you're a person like me, you like to run and jog. A lot of people don't know this about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was an avid bike rider. He actually taught a spin class for years. He loved riding bikes. This is from the mouth of his closest friend. A lot of dudes don't know that about Kevin. They just know the business side of Kevin. There's a business side, like the one brother said, I want to do 2 online jobs. Cool, that's great. But then find something else while you're in that new country that you really enjoy doing. Or you're a person that likes to paint and draw like I do. And it's all this beautiful landscape around. Take advantage of it. We're going to wrap this episode up. Usually it's an hour with Andre and I. Okay, cool. Make sure you guys send me the emails and I'm going to respond to them right now. What? Hey, you got trouble coming up. Long legs, salsa dancer. Yeah. I sent Richie one of the some of the videos of this spot that I like to take you guys to when you come here. One of the videos with the guy recorded me on the dance floor, salsa dancing with one of the young ladies. And yeah, long legs. Shout out to Richie Mack. Make sure you guys subscribe to Zoom to Thailand, who just popped up like right when I got ready to close down. Hint, hint. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, but hey, Rich, I figured this. If my Spanish is trash, my salsa better not be trash. Excuse me. And that's how it is in Colombia. If you better know Spanish, but if your Spanish is not as good, you better your feet will speak for you until you get it on track. Your feet will get on track. But yeah. But let me let you guys go. Shout out to Richie. I'll probably be talking to Richie in a minute anyway. But shout out to Richie. Shout out to all you who have came here tonight. Shout out to Ken, Felicia. I love you. I appreciate you more than you realize. And I mean that with all sincerity. You're a special woman in our heart and in our lives. You've made such an impact with our channel long before you became a moderator. And so thank you very much. Oh, that explains why he's so sharp. That's funny, boy. Yeah, got me. You got me. All right, guys. Once again, my name is Andre. Love Crossing Borders. Let me close out with our new intro.